All right, Dynamite Delight. I'm not going to make you wait. I'm going to give you my general thoughts and then I'll review the show. Let me give it to you like this. I really am not looking forward to Dynamite Beach Break. Flat out, that's the truth. I'm not looking forward to it because of what's going on with Joe. Are they building decently well into Double or Nothing? Yes, I will give you that. They are building decently into Double or Nothing, but it feels like they're screwing Joe. And I think that might be the title of this video. They're screwing Joe. Okay, let's go through these matches. We're going to go through them quickly because there's no reason to last them very long. What did we really get with the first match? Thunder Rosa, Toni Storm, Penelope Forbes, and Anna Jay. And understand, I don't like eliminator matches, but they serve their purpose when it's necessary. I want to make that clear. There are times, and understand, if you remember the beginning, the first year and a half that AEW had, there were no eliminator matches. They were trying to go by the rating system, by the ranking system, and it didn't work completely. Due to the fact that the way the ranking system worked, there was flaws in it, and it needed eliminator matches to fill in those gaps. You needed sometimes, not just going by rank, but going by sometimes, you need to put someone over. An eliminator match can help. And they don't have to worry about the ranking system. Sometimes use it, just not every time. AEW didn't learn they needed it until later when there was people that just didn't look like they needed to be in that position. They didn't rank them correctly because, simply put, they didn't give them correct matches. Yeah, we got a whole bunch of tag matches and singles matches that we would never get in WWE, but clearly they needed something. And then when they brought in the eliminator matches, it was fine. Once in a while they use it, at least until after the second going to the third year, and now they use it almost all the time. Look what we got tonight. We got 2 eliminator matches. And you will hear my thoughts on the other eliminator match. But this eliminator match, where it has Toni Storm in it, why? Why? You're having a fatal 4-way. What was the point? One-on-one, that's what the eliminator match is meant for. You had a 4-way match. And then you did that little segment before the show even, for the match, the show for the match even happened, with Anna Jay and Harley Cameron, the tits and the ass. And you're hearing Anna Jay to Harley, you saved my fat ass. And at the end of the conversation, where Harley's trying to go away from talking about tits and ass, but it's Anna Jay herself goes into tits and ass. I'm like, what the hell is this? Is this supposed to be cute? Is this supposed to be sexy? Look, they're both sexy women. Anna Jay got a fat ass. She's sexy. Then Harley Cameron got a fat set of tits. She's sexy. Who is the more charismatic of the two? Honestly, Harley does talk very well. But the charisma is more with Anna Jay at the moment. But then they're not doing anything with Anna Jay. And they're not doing anything with Harley Cameron. And then you have this segment. And then nothing came of it. Because Megan Bayne, the bane of our existence right now, because guess what? They're doing nothing with her. They've done exactly what I said they would do. They would throw her at Toni Storm without really making her mean something. And now she's just like Lance Archer. I'm saying it now. She's fucking like Lance Archer. She'll show up from time to time, destroy people, but never can get it done in the clinch. It's coming. I'm saying it now. It is coming that she will be just like Lance Archer. He can never get it done. He can look menacing, but he can never get it done. And that's what Megan Bayne's going to be. The female version of it, since Camille isn't there because either she was injured and then they had nothing for her to do. Now we get this from Megan Bayne. This is stupid. Moving on. Oh, almost forgot. Penelope Forbes If you saw this, how you doing, girl? Another New Yorker lives all the way in Buffalo. My girl, I love you. You're beautiful. I wish I was younger that I could marry you. Leave AEW the moment your contract is coming up. Do not resign. I'm just saying that. Moving on. Row. Oh, ROH. The title. They're in Detroit. Who did they drag out to get it done in that world title match for the ROH Championship? The one that everyone always goes to when they're in Detroit, Rhino. Now, mind you, understand this. I don't hate Rhino. I don't hate him. I do still love Rhino. He's a good guy. He can still wrestle for his age because he's my age. He's in the 50s. And he can pull off a character when he really means it. But at this point, being a mystery guest that Christian Cage knows intimately felt empty. Why? No build-up. It would have been nice 2 weeks ahead of time to start building this person up and saying it's a special person. This person that Christian Cage faced and had struggles with. No, it's a mystery opponent out of nowhere. It's Rhino. Doesn't mean anything. And look what happened. They had to help. He had to be helped to win to a certain extent. Nick Wayne, he had to be helped. It would have been better that nothing happened, that Christian didn't help, that Kip Saban didn't help, that his mom didn't help, the hottie. And she didn't really help, but you know what I mean. None of them helped, and just let him win. But no. He had to be helped to a certain extent. He won the match. And then what do we really get still? We get Christian acting like he's trying to put over Wayne, but he's not. Acting like the title still belongs to him. And I do agree with Tony Schiavone. It's obvious he wants that damn title. Even if it is a low-tier title, he wants it. And then he throws it on the floor to try and supposedly teach him a lesson. And I'm like, I'm not feeling it. It's good to see it, but I'm not feeling this. It's something is missing from this equation. I think I know what it is. It's that Nick Wayne, and it looks like they're beginning to show it, that Nick is just reaching a point where he's getting sick of this, but he's acting like a little kid, can't get his own damn title back from Christian. And instead of jumping into Christian's face and shoving him back and telling him to give me my damn title, and then Christian throws it on the floor, we're not getting that. And that's the problem. He's acting like a kid, still acting like he can't get what he wants, when he should just shove Christian back and say, give me my damn title. And then Christian has a bad attitude and walks away. That's what it should be. I'm just not feeling it. There should be more. Next, match number 3. Let me give it to you like this. This match felt random, even though it wasn't. I'm saying it again. This match felt random, but it wasn't. Swerve with Mark Briscoe and Speedball Mike Bailey versus the Bucks, and now it seems that Ricochet is working with the Bucks, which in a sense, good. They are doing something with Ricochet, but I'm going to be honest here. I know not everyone's going to agree with me, and I'm not going to be agreed with, but I do not like the character that Ricochet is portraying. I do not like how he's getting smacked in his damn bald head every chance to get. This is not the right thing to do with Ricochet. I'm not getting it. I'm not feeling it. You guys maybe like seeing him getting smacked in his damn bald head, but honestly, it doesn't make any sense that Ricochet was here. His character meant something. He was willing to stab people in the head with scissors. And now he's dropped down to be a lackey to the Bucks. And the majority of the time when he's in the ring, he's getting smacked in the head. And maybe he's fine with it. But what does that really mean? If you like it, more power to you. To me, it is like a massive downgrade from here to here. And I'm not getting what they're putting down. I am not getting it. Look, I'm not the huge Ricochet fan. I like Ricochet, but I don't love him. But he went from having a character in the storyline with Swerve that actually was doing something. Prince Nana's robe, which he's had for years, for decades, and anyone he bestowed on it, they became money. He's now gone to getting his head smacked in the ring. Almost every match. And if I remember correctly, who is the one who clearly had to do the bulk of the work? And I'm not saying the Bucks didn't do it, but the one who had to take the bulk of the work getting their ass handed to him was Ricochet. It was not Speedball. It was definitely not Swerve. Swerve was the one that looked the best there. And it definitely was Mark Briscoe or the Bucks. It was Ricochet. He had to get his ass handed to him the majority of that entire match. I am not feeling this. They better give me something else. I'm just not seeing it. Next, Okada versus Kevin Knight. Now, this is where I'm like, really? Now, understand. The Okada match with Kevin Knight was fine. Seeing Kevin Knight get his ass beaten up by Roosh, it's alright if there's a story behind it. And there isn't. Because what did they do? They done less than a month ago. What was near a month or so ago? $400,000 match. You get $400,000. Or was it $300,000? $300,000 or $400,000 match. And now we get another match, which is $100,000 match, but with Roosh, and supposedly Kevin Knight messed that up. Why are we doing matches with money constantly? I'm not getting it. It's stupid. I don't get it. I don't. Kevin got his ass handed to him before the match by Roosh because he lost $100,000. Fine, if it was the only match they had in the last year, that would have made sense. But it's now the second match within what, three, you could say easily 2 months. 3 at the most. 2 months. And we now had a match that equals almost $500,000. 2 matches. And it doesn't feel special. What the fuck? Was the match fine? Yeah. And now Speedball looks like he's going to be one that might be dealing with Okada next. Fine. But do you have to use it with money? It feels empty. Because what? It was empty. Because they didn't decide to even write a story for it. They just decided to throw money as the story, that someone lost money, and then they started beating down because they lost money. It feels really cheap. Even though it was $100,000, it felt cheap. Let's move on. Joe versus Claudio Castagnoli. Now I'm going to say this. The match was fine. It was not bad. Joe and Claudio have faced each other in the past when they were in ROH. There's no way they didn't. Before Joe went to TNA, I'm sure he worked with Claudio. There's no problem with that. I don't mind it. But here's the thing. Next week, and I want to make this very clear, I'm glazing over everything that happened afterward, particularly Claudio got his ass beat up. Well, you know what? I will say this. Was it not a surprise that Claudio got basically given a nailing onto his abs, to his ribs on a chair? No. I'm not surprised Joe did it, because already 2 of his guys have been taken out because of a chair because of Claudio. Fine. But here's the thing. Instead of saving this for Double or Nothing and letting Joe have a steel cage match with Moxley at Double or Nothing, they're not doing it. They're not doing it. And I'm going to be honest here. This is what I believe. When we see Beach Break, Dynamite Beach Break next week, I don't see Joe winning. If he does win, then they could have done it at Double or Nothing. I see that this is going to be Mox winning again, and it's stupid. Now, if Joe wins next week, I'm like, what was the point? What was the point? You're not going to have Ospreay or Hangman Page actually go after Moxley on Double or Nothing. Not going to happen. They're just going to finally have the number 1 contender. So why not save it? And I'm like, this is screwing over Joe. I'm being honest right now. That's probably going to be the title of this entire video. They screwed Joe. They screwed Joe. Setting up this stupid match next week. And if Joe wins, it looks bad because they should actually give him the match at Double or Nothing. And if Joe loses, it's nothing no one is surprised about because they're still not trying to get that title off of Mox. They're not doing it. They're just not doing it. And it's stupid. Now, the two things I cared about that happened on the show, that was the best part of the show for me. The first one was the segment with Hangman Page talking with Will Ospreay. Will coming out as, let me give it to you like this. It's a good to see they finally went away from Swerve and Adam. Yeah. It's good. He says himself, look, I've had a horrible time the last couple of years, but what made me finally stop was realizing I had to let this go. And he says to Swerve, I'm done. I'm moving on. And he made it very clear when he did that. That's the reason why he went to the Owen Hart tournament. That's the reason why he won. Cool. Great. Seeing that Will came out, put him over, making it very clear that, look, you've gone through some bad times. We've seen everything that happened. What Swerve did to you. Everything else that happened to you. You became champion. You lost it. Then Swerve happened. And now here. We want to see you win. I want to see you win. But, bruv, you're not getting it. Because all that time that you've been doing all the stuff you're doing, I've been doing your job. You were supposed to be the one to be champ. Who's been going to the press conferences? Me. Who's been shaking hands and being with the kids? Me. Who's been showing that I'm interested in doing what a champion would do? Me. And after what you did to Swerve, which of course Swerve still gets what he deserves, his friend, but also what you did to what happened to Christopher Daniels, he's also covering that, which was cool. And it felt natural. It felt like it had to happen. But then the Don Callis family got involved. And this is where I think they messed up on the entire segment. Even though that part of the segment was fine. You didn't hear not a word after from Hangman. It was all Will, but then when Don Callis comes out saying that you're stupid enough to get into the ring with a lunatic and he's going to turn on you and he's ready to rip their heads off, and that's Hangman Page. And you see Will holding the back saying, me and him will take you on. And now holding the wrist, staring at each other. That already happened before Don Callis came out. To be honest, I don't think they needed the Don Callis family. You may have been fine with it. I was not. I don't know why they did that. It made no sense. None. And you're going to say, dude, they have history together. Yes, but in this situation, it wasn't necessary now. Will hasn't won anything. And if you're going to mess with Hangman, wouldn't it have been better at Double or Nothing when they know they can do something? And if you're going to do this with the Don Callis family against Will or against Hangman Page, why not do it in the back? Why not do it in the back? Mess with them in the back. They didn't need to do the segment with them there. They could have messed with them individually, and then that would have gave us some intrigue for the next couple of weeks. How far is the Don Callis family going to screw with these guys separately? And they didn't even need to do a tag match where it's going to be, can they coexist? How many times have we heard that from WWE and now AEW? I didn't want to see it here. Now, I know you're going to say, what about Jamie Hayter and Mercedes Moné? I'm going to be honest. Did I think that interview with... I like Jamie. I actually do like her. But do I believe she did a good job in that interview? No. It felt heavily rehearsed. I'm going to be honest. Going like this, talking, and I'm not saying she doesn't use her hands when she talks, but she over-exaggerated that. Honestly, it felt like she was trying to hit every bullet point that they told her to hit in that segment, in that interview, and then seeing the fight afterward, that was fine. Seeing that Jamie got the better somewhat of Mercedes, but then Mercedes gave her the bank statement, and I'm cool with that. But that interview just did not feel right. It felt really over-rehearsed, and it just didn't feel like it was really Jamie. Look, We've all seen when Jamie can talk. We've seen her in the back, and she doesn't do hand gestures, and she isn't doing bullet points and being like this and like this. This felt heavily rehearsed. It was off for me. Final segment, Hurt Business comes out saying, guys, we're the Hurt Business. We like hurting people. And what's going on with the tag division? We want competition. We get the Crew. I believe that's what they call themselves. Leo Rush and Andretti, I think. And then we see Top Flight coming out. And they're saying, look, we haven't had it easy for the last couple of years. There's been problems. We haven't been getting very far. But you know what? We don't quit. I kind of wished that Dante and Darius said, I got in a car accident. And I was able to get my ass back up, recover, and come back to wrestling. That would be Darius. Dante, in a match, I broke my ankle. And it spun around like it was a damn top. But I managed to get myself back up, fix myself, and come back. I wish they had said that. But I guess they didn't want to go that far. And they didn't really need to go that far because guess who came out to beat the living shit out of them? And that was MJF. He beat the shit out of them. I think it was Darius who was bleeding. Not Dante. I'm not sure. I don't think so. I think it was Darius who was bleeding. And he jumps into the ring after he whoops that ass and says, I hurt people. Faces Bobby in the face. And Bobby looks at him and says, fans, you'll find out next week. And then, later, we get not only the Hurt Syndicate together, they now have their lawyer with them. And he's telling Bobby, don't say nothing. And Bobby says, advisement of my lawyer, I ain't saying shit. Now, this does make sense that the Hurt Syndicate will have a lawyer. I'm fine with that. But here's where it gets interesting. How far are they going to go with this Hurt Business? Let me give it to you like this. The Hurt Business never got a chance to go very far. If you have not seen Chris Van Blee's video with the Hurt Syndicate, I suggest you watch when Bobby Shelton and MVP are talking. It is very interesting to see the interaction between those three guys. They legitimately love each other and love to fuck with each other and mess with each other. They legitimately care. I recommend you see it if you haven't seen it yet. Look at Chris Van Vliet and the Hurt Syndicate's interview. But then you wonder, how far is the Hurt Syndicate going to go before they finally drop those titles? How far are they going to go with a tag division that is really not being spotlighted correctly? Look what's going on with FTR, and they're messing with Tony Schiavone. And now next week, this Thursday, I'm not going to watch it because I won't be able to watch it because I will be doing TNA. Unless you guys want me to see it on Friday and then do a review of it, you can tell me below. But seeing they're going to be dealing with Garcia Thursday, and now they're calling out Niles McGuinness, which makes me think, are they going to team Niles McGuinness up with Danny Garcia? I don't know. It's since I don't watch a lot of Collision, and definitely haven't reviewed it because there's been no reason to, because whenever I did it, barely or no one really, wasn't like there were no views, but very few people really watched it. And I'm like, okay, am I interested in this? No. I'm interested in FTR deal with the Hurt Syndicate. Why are they not dealing with the Hurt Syndicate? You guys tell me below. Why is one of the premier teams they're supposed to have that means something next to the Bucks are not dealing with the Hurt Syndicate? What story are they actually trying to tell with FTR, with Dax and Cash? What? I don't even know. But you guys tell me below. This is just me. Peace.